guys got any questions from what you saw yesterday? Or if not,
what the hell?
We got quite a lot.
What the hell?
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to start offense or defense?
Start on offense if you want. If you got a question,
there's three phases.
but if not, I've got
What was it on offense in the fourth quarter? How did
I'll tell you what,
it come together?
Start with the positives, man. Butter.
Brandon, seriously, they did a much better job with handling the Ravens' front. The pressure with the thing the Ravens were able to do early in this game was with their rush, with their down rush. They were able to make things happen that way. There was one time they had an unblocked. Unblocked. Hamilton was unblocked, and that caused the pressure. But other than that, it really was their guys that were able to kind of create some early pressure. Zach Martin didn't play particularly well this game.
I don't think any of the linemen particularly played well.
I'll tell you what, though, if you look back, the tackles were not terrible in this game. And I came out of that sitting next to Zach. I'm kind of thinking like, BB and Guyton and those guys. I was just thinking about the tackles, and I'm like, man, it doesn't look right. But on tape, it wasn't bad.
So when I go back and watch Upton, I'll think higher of Steele.
Yeah, right and I'm not trying. Yeah, I'm not trying to. I am not trying to influence anybody because you'll get your tape and you'll sit down and watch, but you will be surprised how they were able. They missed some throws and they missed some routes that they could have taken advantage. Now there was a couple of pressures here and there, but nothing that you normally wouldn't face in a game. I'll say this: the running backs, no more Zeke. Just okay. If you want to take,
they reduced his snaps quite a bit.
If you want to,
they got the ratio much better.
If you just want to go ahead and bring Cook up and play him, sit Zeke, I have no problem with that. But the toughness that Dowdle showed as a blitz pickup guy, catching the football and all those things yesterday, they try to throw a wheel route to Vaughn. I get it. They're trying to get him on the field and do some things with him.
Rather him do that than just hammer him up the middle for no yards.
Exactly. Yeah. So to me, I thought that the offensive line was a big struggle. You were going to run the ball. I mean, when they ran the ball, they were able to kind of make a little bit more about the backs than really the blocking yesterday.
On the running, that's kind of what I'm wondering about. Yeah. Like on their 3 touchdown drives, I think they only ran it twice over the course of like 25 plays. Do you think abandoning the run is what they should be looking to do more?
They've had, to me, when they went like no huddle and hurry up offense,
they got to get tempo, get up to the line. Let's go.
I was watching the substitutions on the sidelines with the receivers. They could play with some pace if they want because they have 3 guys on, 3 guys off. And they were constantly, they run a route, 3 guys on, guys come off. That's why the rotation that they were able to do, that really put the Ravens in some tough spots. And like I say, the touchdown that they threw to Tolbert, completely the combinations of the routes allowed the middle of the defense to open up.
Yeah, they finally used some crossers over the middle.
Well, it wasn't the cross.
There was a post to Turpin, I think, on his big catch.
Well, his big catch, you're right. But his touchdown, too, they matched him up with a safety with Washington. So you're like, Washington's a safety trying to chase Turpin out of the slot. See, to me, that's where you miss out on some things. When you think like, okay, hey, put our guy with this guy or put our guy with that guy.
We like this matchup.
Yeah, and they did a much better job with the offensively picking up blitzes, like we talked about. Once they got going, they were able to the receivers did a better job of getting open, and the quarterback didn't miss throws. He had a couple of throws in this game where you're like, man, if you just hit on that throw,
for sure,
it's a big play here. But I just, like I say, I think this team can play with some tempo and kind of make people not be able to substitute on them and things. Now, the running game is, I just think
it's bad.
You get behind in games, and it's no use of running.
Yeah. Well, you're getting behind because you're trying to run, though, partially.
No, you're getting behind because your run defense is ass. That's the problem. I think your run defense makes your run offense not any good because all of a sudden teams are driving the ball on you, and they're scoring, and they're putting you behind. And what's the one way you have to catch up? Throwing the football. We saw that yesterday. They couldn't run because they're behind. The last 2 weeks, there's been no reason for them to run. Yeah. They tried to run.
They couldn't run even when they were ahead against Cleveland, though. They just
didn't try. Again, do I have to go back to the second half of the Cleveland game and tell you why?
No, you were right about that. But
you didn't work on running. You didn't try to run.
And they weren't going to fix it in a half against Cleveland.
But you at least
you could multi-years in the making.
You could figure out, though, Dawson, that the fact that you might not have a damn running game instead of right now, you're sitting there going, oh wow, well maybe nice. And what's their statement to us? Their statement is, oh, we haven't had enough opportunities. BS. You had opportunities in week 1. Yeah. You didn't take advantage of it. Now that's why you are. Yeah, have the back's been good. I'm surprised Dowdle averaged 4 yards a carry yesterday, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was expecting that to be a big negative game for the backs and stuff like that.
Well, you also got to a point where they were willing to give you any time you want to just run the ball for 4 yards. With the way the game got out of hand, they're willing to give you 4 yards.
Any running play when you're that far behind is a negative play.
Right.
It's not going to help you get back in that game. So to me, they don't know if they can run the ball or not. The offense, I don't know. I watch the offensive line. Sometimes they block it well. We're talking about expected yards per. Wow, that's amazing. Expected yards. They are leaving a lot of things on the field. Mm-hmm. Does that mean they can run the ball if they're leaving expected yards on the field?
If they had a better runner.
It means if they had better running backs, according to that particular stat,
handing the ball to Zeke is a negative play.
Yes.
Yeah. Handing the ball to Dowdle, it seems like to me that would be a positive play.
The first couple of drives, I was very surprised that the offensive line I thought was getting some push. I mean, they go 3 yards for Dowdle, 6 yards for Dowdle, 3rd and 1. Yeah. Then you get a penalty with span forward. Yeah. Right? The pre-snap penalties were an issue too. They got to clean that up. But I thought the offensive line, at least earlier until they really had to abandon the running game, they performed way better than I thought when it came to run blocking. I left saying their run blocking was better than the pass blocking.
There's nothing they do to help their offensive linemen in run blocking the way they run the ball.
No, it's a disgusting static.
There's nothing. There's nothing that they do scheme wise that helps them run the ball. That could help them run the ball.
Totally.
Not the way that they currently the way they run it.
Yeah.
There's nothing that they do with that. I know I'm running out of time. You give me some time to talk about the defense.
Yes, sir.
And this afternoon. Okay.
We'll definitely carve it out. Yeah, we got 3 hours to go.
Okay. This is where to me, if I could finish up this thing with the young guys with BB. Where BB had problems yesterday with the offensive line with the twist stunt stuff.
Yes.
That's where
passing them off.
He saw them late. That's where the Ravens were able to kind of make some things happen inside, was that BB was so locked in to the guy he was trying to push to one of the guards that when you get that locked in, it's hard for you to be able to adjust back. And there were a couple different times where they got pressure in the middle because BB was too engaged to his guy. He's just got to shove that guy and look for the twist. Mm-hmm. Don't go too far down don't go too far outside. You got to stay right where you need to be, and then that guy could come to you. And that way you won't be giving up the pressure. But they gave up some pressures inside just because BB was trying to help push that guy all the way to the guard. You just got to shove him and be ready for that guy coming over the top. So I'll talk about, like I said, the defense because I think there's some things about this Cowboy defense with the run game stuff, the run defense stuff. They need to do a lot better, but I think there's some things that they can actually build on, and we'll talk about that next time around.